Remember the Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire in 1911 that killed 146 workers? It feels slightly on topic right now. I don't know why, so let's talk about it. The factory was located in the top 3 floors of the Ash Building in Manhattan. It was a sweatshop that packed young female workers in there like sardines, having them work in horrendous conditions. They were mostly teenagers who didn't speak English and worked 14-hour days every single weekday, and then 8-hour days on the weekends. All for very little pay, by the way. On March 25th of 1911, a fire broke out in a rag bin. There were 600 workers there that day. Again, mostly young female workers. Many tried escaping through the elevators, but they were only designed to hold a max of 12 people. And because of the flames and the fire, they malfunctioned after just 4 trips up and down, so they were unusable. Several workers ended up flinging themselves down the open elevator shafts in a desperate attempt to escape from the flames that were engulfing them from behind, and they would fall to their death. Other workers tried escaping through stairwells that led outside, but many ended up being trapped after realizing some of the doors were locked from the outside to prevent burglars. Many of these young girls ended up suffocating to death in these same stairwells. Other girls who were trapped on the higher floors attempted jumping out of the buildings because it was either that or burned to death as the fire came closer to them. Firefighters watched out in horror as these young girls flung themselves towards the ground. Some of them even landed on the firefighters' hoses, which made them harder to use. The firefighters' ladders also weren't even long enough to reach up to the higher story floors. There was even an attempt to set up a net on the ground for them to jump into, but it failed once 3 people jumped through it at once and they all died. In just 18 minutes, it was all over. The fire was out, and 146 people lost their lives due to severe burns, smoke inhalation, falling, and various other injuries. And the building was doomed to fail from the start. It had no overhead sprinklers, only one fire escape, and the company stored loads of flammable products and chemicals on its production floors. What followed were waves of protest, also a litany of safety and regulation laws passed to ensure that such a tragedy would never happen again. But history always repeats itself. And it's crazy that over a century later, many of the issues revealed in this tragedy are still larger than ever. But the big issue being that capitalist corporations never have and never will give a fuck about their workers.